Hi there, and welcome to the very first episode of EcoGlam Diaries. I'm your host, Kat Wells, and I'm so excited to have you here with me today. This podcast is all about celebrating fashion that's as kind to the planet as it is chic. Whether you're a seasoned eco-fashionista or just starting to dip your toes into the world of sustainable style, you're in the right place. We'll be exploring all kinds of topics, from eco-friendly fashion tips to inspiring personal stories and the innovative ways sustainability is shaping the future of style. But more importantly, we're building a community here, one that's focused on progress, not perfection, when it comes to living sustainably. Alright, so what better way to kick off EcoGlam Diaries than by talking about something personal, close to home, and real. Today's episode is called Sustainable Style Stories, Personal Journeys in Eco-Friendly Fashion, and I'm going to take you along on my own path to conscious fashion. Trust me, it wasn't all sunshine and perfectly curated capsule wardrobes at first. Okay, so here's my story. I used to be that person who couldn't resist a good sale. Fast fashion. Sign me up. A quick weekend splurge on trendy pieces. That was me. But one day, as I was scrolling through social media, I came across this article that stopped me in my tracks. It talked about the environmental costs of fast fashion, how massive amounts of water and energy go into making clothes that we wear once or twice, and then toss aside. And honestly, it hit me hard. I started thinking about my closet, not just as a space for my clothes, but as a reflection of my values. Sure, my wardrobe looked trendy, but I started asking myself, a little painfully, what was the cost? Not just to my budget, but to workers, communities, and our planet. That's when I decided it was time for a change. Laugh slightly. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't an overnight transformation. I didn't wake up the next day with a perfectly sustainable wardrobe. It was, and still is, a process. My first step was clearing out my closet, but instead of throwing everything out, I donated or sold pieces that I no longer wore. Then I started doing my research, looking for brands that aligned with both my style and my new priorities, like sustainable production or eco-friendly fabrics. One big moment for me. Finding my first second-hand treasure. I remember walking into this local thrift store and spotting it, a flowy vintage dress that checked every box for me. Unique, gorgeous, and guilt-free. That's when I realized sustainable fashion doesn't always have to be about buying new eco-friendly pieces. It can also be about loving things that have already had a life. Here's what I learned from my experience, and what I want to share with you today. Transitioning to sustainable style doesn't have to feel overwhelming or complicated. All it takes is starting small. Here are a few things you can try today to begin your own sustainable style story. 1. Shop your closet. Look for pieces you already own and reinvent them. Pair the oversized band tee with a flowy skirt, or add a belt to that dress you've barely worn. Sometimes, creativity is all you need. 2. Buy less, but better. If you need something new, invest in versatile, high-quality pieces that will stand the test of time. Think of them as building blocks for your wardrobe. 3. Thrift, swap, or borrow. Hit up your local thrift store, or try hosting a clothing swap with friends. These are fun, affordable, and sustainable ways to refresh your closet. 4. Research eco-friendly brands. If you're shopping new, look into brands that are transparent about their materials and production practices. Spoiler alert, EcoKit Comforts has some amazing options. The more I've embraced sustainable fashion, the more it's felt less like giving something up, and more like gaining a closet full of clothes I genuinely love. Clothes that make me feel good, not just stylish, but proud of the choices behind them. And that's why I want to hear your story. What does sustainable style mean to you? Maybe you're just starting your eco-fashion adventure, Or maybe you've been rocking thrifted outfits since forever. Either way, I'd love to learn how you're making sustainable choices in your life. You can connect with me on Instagram or drop me an email. Find all the details in the show notes. Here on EcoGlam Diaries, we're all about inspiring and supporting each other on this eco-friendly fashion movement. If this episode sparked anything for you, a feeling, an idea, or even a question, please share it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a review wherever you're listening. It helps others find us and join this incredible community. Thank you so much for tuning into this first episode of Eco Glam Diaries. Next week we're talking about Eco Fashion 101, where I'll debunk myths about sustainable style and share why it's easier than you might think to go green in your wardrobe. Until then, keep thriving, keep creating, and keep it sustainable. See you next time.